So what we can do is we will do the recording here. And we can put it on our FCCISL as well as the S4IG websites. Then you don't have to record or do anything. And you can share anytime. There is no issue. We don't keep any restrictions. Our structure was all the time sharing knowledge with everyone. So that was the basis that we were going on. So it was very fruitful. Some of the coaches brought in a lot of new ideas to us, and those also implemented. And now, day by day, this becomes every day it's a new thing, because we find, every time when you find some new coach is going and doing something new, so we try to adapt here, and how best we can do that is the next question that we ask from ourselves, and we try to modify this program. So eventually we have Zoom sessions, because we can't meet all the time all the people on a regular basis. One thing is the time, logistics, and the cost, all of that. But nevertheless, this process is great. We can educate people on Zoom sessions very much. We have done not only in this area, even on the Industry 4.0 also we managed to do, which is a very, very high-end stuff. So everything is possible. Only thing is, what we want is the commitment from you and the support from you, and to see that. So the whole idea of this project is to support the small businesses, the small hotels and homestay. Or you can go beyond that and look for small businesses. The whole idea here is big companies, they have their funds and they have their consultants and all of them, but the smaller guys don't have any support. So therefore we thought, together, Skills for Inclusive Growth, Australian Aid, Federation of Chambers, all of us we are working to improve the society. So that's the idea that we came up with this project. Now you don't think that you just do some work here. You have to take as a partner. We are partners, and you valued inputs, as well as your way of working can improve this whole program. So that's what I want to share with you. So in the future also we'll come up with few other projects like this. There's some Zoom meetings to improve your skills and knowledge. After that, I'm sure that you can find your own people who has small hotels, homestays, and all that. You can get the support of the master coaches, because they have been having huge experience. They have wealth of experience behind them. You would have seen even on the day that we had your award presentation, some master coaches, they gave some meaningful insights to their stories. We want you all to make good stories for us. So that's the thing that I have to request from you. All new people, we believe they will have different talents, and they can do different things in different ways, which can improve the quality of a project. So this what I want to say, and let me welcome every one of you who's here in this forum. So I will pass it on to Shakti, which will do the technical and the rest of the presentations of the day.
Thank you, sir. Good morning to you all. Hope you all are happy with your licenses. And as Mr. Keiti mentioned, I think most of you had enough experiences. So today's event is to give you a kind of an introduction to the professional business coaching approach what we are having here, so that you can add this approach and try to do your coaching more efficiently. And if time permits, then we can talk about the key performance indicators which we were using in our model. so that you can register your successes based on the key performance indicators. Most of you may know, you may be practicing it, but just refreshing and then talking about the practicality of this part. So as Mr. Kriti mentioned, the idea of this session is to have discussions and try to give you some ideas about what we are doing so far, and then get your ideas, get your feedbacks, and add value to the model that we are having, right? So with that, let me move to the presentation. Can you all see the presentation? Yeah?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes,
Can
yes.
you all see
Yes.
the presentation clearly?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So this is what we are going to talk as coaches. Today we are going to discuss about two aspects. One is about the course and the other one is about the services. But I think we will have only one or two slides about course because that is not that much relevant to this target group. But we will be talking more about the coaching model and the philosophies and theories behind it. And most of the slides are created by me based on the book what we already published for the professional business coaching course. So whenever you have time, you can go through those books. I think we couldn't share that with you all as of now, but we should be able to share that with you also, right? So as we discuss in the certificate program, generally there are many coaching models used in coaching field, right? Two famous models we were able to understand was one OSCA model and the other one is TGRO model. By looking at it, you can understand it's starting from outcome, what outcome the client want, and then how you can do the scaling, and then know how after that you come up with an action plan review whenever you have coaching session. This is the flow of the OSCA model. And when you go to TGRO model, it starts with the topic. And then what topic they are having, what is the goal and reality, then what are the obstacles and options from their way forward. So if you look at both models, the reach or the outcome most probably the same, but you are going through two different approaches. And most of us are using this or including our own tools into this system and try to help our client. That is the main idea. And most of the time, whenever we do coaching, our own style, own tools will be also added on, as I told you. So sometimes it will be more interesting to have our own tool developed through our experiences, and sometimes it's always advisable to do some search, Google search, and try to get more tools and move that, get that into our system, right? So when we move, if we analyze these two models, right, the similarities and differences are there. For example, TGRO model, it very much focus on the obstacles and how to overcome them. OSCA models, solutions, not on analyzing problem. So as per our client's situation and client ability, we can throw this tool and get our solutions. And a TGRO model begins with a clear goal, right? And but OSCA model, it says the client what wants to be different and what is the change the client wanted to see and something like that. And also TGRO model, it's concerned with the reality of the client's current situation. But OSCA don't talk that much about it. It talks about what is possible. So you can see the pros and cons of two models. Sometimes people mix this and come up with another model where they make sure the client also is comfortable and understand what should be their next steps, right? And then the approach wise, TGRO way forward is based on progress with the current reality, but OSCA sometimes it doesn't work, then they stop doing and they go again. So as the slide says, TGRO focus on difficulties, barriers, but OSCA focus on improvement. So if a coach is very much with motivation and try to push the client, most of the time the coach use OSCAR model because they rarely talk about barriers. They make the client understand if they analyze the barriers and issues, they should be able to solve it. But sometimes if we are going to work with the clients always talk about barriers and problems. Then the coach role there is to make the client understand the problems and be handled, and then come up with their own solutions for each problems or barriers. In that case, some coaches use T-GROW model so that they show the client that they are capable of looking into the issues and try to solve the issues or barriers, whatever they face. Then the process-wise, as we already discussed, they describe the problems and then see the explanation. And through the explanation, coach will be finding different points where coach will be helping the client. But when it comes to OSCAR model, it's all about positive achievement. As I told you, even the coach's personality also sometimes works towards selecting the better model and also the client situation. And bottom, the very important thing, T-GROW model is very much suitable to see situations where the client struggles to identify a way forward, but has a high motivation. Yeah, if the client is having motivation and try to say something that he or she can't do, then we use T-GROW. But OSCAR, when the client is very much aware about what he or she is doing, then it's easy for us to use the OSCAR model. So the question here is, whenever we do coaching, a hybrid model or approach may also come, right, practically. But considering these aspects will help the client as well as the coach to understand the context, the individual or the client, how the individual is going to solve the issues which may have different important aspects to be attended, right? That's how it is. So I think these are the two models. And before moving to the next topic, do we think we can have one or two discussion points about this? How you look at it? අපිට සිංහලෙනුත් කරුත් හොඳයිද? මගේ English better එකත් කියන්න. I am comfortable in Sinhala. I don't know whether my Sinhala is good, but yeah, if you all have any concerns and new ideas about these two, please throw it in the platform. How do you look at it? Is this a useful thing you think, or are we thinking this is too theoretical? What's your practical experience?
Shakti, I just got a question. Peter here. Just got a question. Like these two models here, T-GROW and OSCAR,
Yeah.
does it interlap, like overlap? Can we use points of when we are discussing or when we are coaching the client? Can we use some from both of these, or is it only T-GROW? Or?
Yeah, I think this answer may differ from person to person. My experience, as you said, is the hybrid model, hybrid process is working, because some points client can buy වෙලා ඉන්නකොට නම් අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම you have to attend to the problems නේද? අපි කියන්න ඕනේ list කරමුකෝ, list කරලා මොනවද ප්‍රශ්න කියලා බලමු, prioritize කරගමු කියලා යන්න වෙනවා. එතකොට අපි T-GROW වලට යන්න වෙනවා, right? If a person try to show that that person is very familiar with the environment, that and this, we go with them, and ඒගොල්ලෝ stuck වුණාම තමයි අහන්න තියෙන්නේ, "Hey, last time you didn't do it." Then they will understand they are weak in understanding, analyzing the problems and issues and barriers. So I think practically when we do, we can't put a line and say this is only OSCAR or this is only T-GROW. But most of the time, as you correctly said, we should assume and observe the client and try to pick a point where to start. For example, කවුරු හරි කෙනෙක් කිව්වොත් මට මේක ලොකු ප්‍රශ්නයක්, කොහොමද මේක මේවා කරන්න කියලා සමහර වෙලාවට අපි solution එකට තමයි යන්නේ ගොඩාක් දුරට. ඔතන තමයි coachesලා පොඩ්ඩක් ඒ කියන්නේ මේ ඉක්මන් වෙන්නේ කියලා අපි හිතන්නේ. So without understanding the environment, right, if you try to go and give solution at the beginning itself, there the OSCAR, sometimes OSCAR will fail. Most of the time, so we didn't have a big thing, but generally අපි කියනවානේ අපේ consultant personality නේ අපිට තියෙන්නේ කොහෙට ගියාම we think we know everything, but actually we are talking with a client who is having more than years of experience than us. So we should really focus on listening to them. That's where the coaching comes in rather than jumping in. In that case, I think T-Grow model is easy to do a brainstorming. මොන ප්‍රශ්නද තියෙන්නේ නේද? What are the challenges you are having? වගේ ගියාම අපේ culture එකට ටිකක් හොඳයි listening උත් එක්ක. But some people who are really mastered, especially in tourism sector and some other, let's say timber sector, ඒගොල්ලන්ට ගියාම අපි වැඩි වෙලාවක් obstacle ගැන කතා කරොත් ඒගොල්ලෝ කියන්නේ stop, I am very good in production. හරිද? So let us not talk about that, let's go here කියලා. එතකොට නම් ඔස්කාර් එකට පනින්න වෙනවා. So this is, I think these are the things sometimes, as you correctly said, we play, but what we like to see here is a checklist or the approaches for us to play with, right? So we now, when we have a notebook and a printed version of this, definitely it will help us to find our comfortable way of flow. අර අපේ flow එකට කොයි පාත් එකකට ගියොත් හොඳයි කියන එකට මේ points ටික හරි වටිනවා කියලා නේ මම හිතන්නේ, rather than just going and asking කියන්නකෝ නේ කියලා. I think these are the approaches where they will also feel step by step, okay, coach is helping me to understand and solve the solutions, right? That psychology aspect එක තමයි මෙතන ගොඩාක් මම හිතන්නේ වැදගත් වෙන්නේ. So it's a good point, thank you for raising it. The answer is we shouldn't behave like consultants that is giving ideas. We should make sure that we understand it properly and then try to ask questions and probing the client to find better solutions rather than we giving solutions. I think that is where most of us may have to mold ourselves, listening first rather than giving solutions. I don't know whether I answered your question.
Thank you, Shakti. No, that is perfect.
Thank you. Any other ideas? Shamila, you have anything to add or ask? Okay. If we don't have, we can move to the next slide, right? So after analyzing these two approaches and some other approaches, so this is the tip. An effective way of practice using both types of coaching approaches and to appreciate their differences is to use them to address your own personal issue. By learning to get yourself unstuck, that is where we have to be careful. We have to find a way to unstuck. You have to learn more questions and then record the questions and prompt it. So as a coach, when we enter into the field, the more questions we have will put the coach as well as client to understand the topic or the issue correctly. So whether we are using T-Grow, OSCAR, or hybrid, we should be able to get a flow, smooth flow, without stucking in one point. I think that is what we have to do. So with all these analysis, we were able to go to a model called blended coaching model. That is the model which we are using in professional business coaching approach. We are not going to say this is the only model we all have to use. We are trying to say we recommend that this suits the ground condition of Sri Lankan MSMEs. That's what we are trying to say. We are not competing. We are not saying this is better than that. So this is based on our 3 years experience in the ground from 2017, facing all the disasters, natural man-made disasters, right? So that shows even the model is adaptable to many situations. So what we do here, we try to understand the business first, as others say, but we don't start with problems. We start with how this business is behaving in the environment. That's how we started the approaches, and then we create an action plan. So this is a big process. I will explain how to understand the business by using several tools, but this is the approach, okay? And then we create an action plan like other two models. After that, we link with support services. This is where I think some coaches should be very much, careful about. Let's say a person is having an issue in bookkeeping. After analyzing the action plan, after understanding the business, we understand there's a problem in bookkeeping. Then sometimes coach is having tendency to help the client with bookkeeping. So according to this philosophy, we like to refer that to the relevant people. That is where the business coach comes in. So business coach is not the problem solver for all aspects. So what we understood is that through our approach. But most of the time, in some other coaching sessions, the coach try to develop business plan, try to develop the cash flow, try to develop the marketing plan, digital marketing plan, all this. So that sometimes may create unfavorable condition to the coach as well as client, right? This is generally seen. So what we do, we link with the support services like digital service provider or a bookkeeper or a computer person coming and sitting with the owner manager and teaching how to put all these things online, all these kind of aspects we do here. So we behave here like a physician who do the basic scanning and recommend or go to the eye surgeon or something like that. So that's the tendency, but we saw in our approach, and then we monitor performances, provide feedback. In this approach, we make sure coach stay with the client for some time, and then client find their own way of solving issues, not to depend on coach. So this gives a different market segment to the coaches, right? Because you will see most of the time, whenever a client has some problem, client give you a call and they wait until you go and all these dependency things, where sometimes a coach is not doing that much work there. Actually, the decision is made by the client. So if you create this approach, a client will understand how to react to the situation. So we are not saying it just because of the theory. We applied it. When we started, we had issues related to economic crisis 2017. Right then we had Easter attacks. Then we had other issues, and now after that we had economic crisis. Still, we were able to see people are surviving with the intelligence what they got from this coach-client interaction. So it's a science. It's a chemistry. Right? If you can install it with the client, we will have 200 clients in the market. Most of them won't get your coaching service at the beginner level. Sometimes they will talk with you about the advanced level or the analytical level. Still, coaches are needed, but for small things, they are not going to call you. So it's like some people graduated from your course line, right? So we should feel proud about it, and we should be able to create that momentum. That's where the market comes. As we all know, word of mouth is one of the strongest market. So the coach will have a big market once you create independent clients. So that is the approach we are trying to do here, because we are giving more tools to them to understand where they are, how they can go forward. They jot down their targets, and then they come back and visit and say, okay, we plan this, we are having this. So it's a self-sustained process is the one from this blended coaching. The important thing here is this where we are very interested to work with Federation of Chamber when it comes to digital marketing, when it comes to any other bookkeeping thing. We may have to be connected with other consultants, right? Other business development services. So coach is not an isolated person here. The coach is the person who will be connected with the business development service providers, so that whatever the recommendation the coach do, client will be able to get education connected with the other business development services, where they will be getting more new ideas from new angles. That's why we call it blended coaching. That means coaching is not only isolated. Coaching is linked with the other business development services. If you do some searches, you will understand there are around 15 business development services available in the world. Some are categorized that into 9, where exposure is it, right? Group purchasing and technology transfer training. These kind of trainings are very effective, right? If the coach wanted to do by himself or herself, that's not going to work, right? So and some of the things you are trying to teach them only by having a session is not going to be practical. You have to take them out like the exposure visit. You have to take them to the market and ask questions. So those kind of new tools can be also utilized here, and especially the Zoom kind of sessions, right? These are very much helpful. So let us recall ourselves and try to think about this blended coaching. Why we call it blended, and then why this is different from the other aspects. I am sure Tigro, Oscar also have this part in the action plans. But here we make sure that you take this point out and try to think differently. How can I solve this? For example, during Mr. Lakshman is one of our master coaches who worked with us, who is here now with us today. So he also did the same. Like whenever we went to accommodation, we found their bed sheets are not good. Right. So then coaches say, why don't you go around, go to Colombo, go to some other places and see what are the bed sheets they are using, how many sheets they are using, all these kind of things. So when we do that, when they were able to ask the question, they started going and they decide how to invest, where to invest, right? That kind of thing. Rather than a consultant going and telling, this creates a different thing. So when we guide them to talk, ask them to go around and collect information about bed sheets, for example, they then started to think, how can I decorate my, accommodation? How can I have a good view next to the window? They get all these things and they suddenly develop in multiple directions. So if the coach didn't guide the client in that way, coach would have given some ideas. It's a spot on ideas, spot on advices. That's it. The intelligence gathered by going out is missing. That's why we like to have this other support services linked with this coaching session. Okay, are we going on a correct track? Were we able to understand the difference between these three models? Any comments, please?
Yeah, Shakti just got a question again.
Yeah.
Now with this action plan on this flow chart, blended coaching, second one,
Yeah.
have you got like templates that we can use?
We have. We'll once we finish this, we'll share that with you. A very good question. So the whole approach, we have the one tool where you can play it around, right? Only the thing you have to do is, if you're going for accommodation, we have it. If you are going for restaurant, you have to develop it. If you are going for a timber business, you have to develop it. But the basic principle, as you said, we have an action plan. We have a format for understanding the business. And then we, based on the action plan, you have monitoring. I couldn't hear you, sir. Can you repeat back?
Someone is playing something.
Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah. So next question is, with the link with support services, I think I agree with you, Shakti, because Federation of Chamber of Commerce industry, they have a lot of other, organizations, members.
Yeah.
So if we can get a list, because it's good for them also, because we can direct our clients to those services.
Very good point.
If you all can liaise with someone is playing.
Yeah, shall we keep our mics muted? Only the people who talk can also unmute.
You're Peter Fernando, is it?
I'm Peter.
Sorry?
Excuse me.
Okay, yeah, you go with your answer, Mr. Peter. Yeah, your question. Yeah.
Yeah. So the question was, what I was saying was, because Federation of Chamber and Industry, they have a lot of members, and this link with support, it will be great if you can give us like a database, or where we can direct our clients to those support services.
That's a very good point. Yeah, we'll talk with Mr. Keethi as well as Indika and try to develop it. That's, I think, as you said, that is one of the strength of this model, where we can do, and among ourselves also, we are specialists in different fields, so we should be able to get these things in the correct way. We are getting some. Yeah. Is it okay? Yeah, if you can mute your mics, it will help us to do the presentation.
Okay,
Good.
if you can,
so if we don't have any other questions, we can move to the next slide.
Shakti, please suggest that everyone to keep mute when they want to talk, they can unmute and speak.
Thank you very much. Yeah, please help us to complete this task by muting your mics. Thank you. Yeah, so now we are moving to the next slide. Yeah, which is about benefit of coaching. I think all of us know, but I think in order to market coaching, please take note about this. And you know, when we introduce this kind of services to the people, we should be able to say this informally, right? You don't do a banner and talk about it. But what we have seen in our blended coaching, the method we use, look at it in short term, right? This is after our coaching session only, they were able to understand the standards of the industry, and also they were able to increase their knowledge. So that's why we say, let us advise them to go around and see as a coach, right? We advise them to go for an exposure visit. Then only they will understand this happened. Even the beauty salon owner said she was doing everything, but when we did 2 sessions, she said, okay, I am into wedding. Let me understand, I should only do wedding so that others can do other things, as well as my market is I will reach the market with my quality. And then they were able to understand the skill gaps, and also short term they were able understand to develop their businesses. Otherwise they think developing business is one thing and expansion is one thing, right? So standard and then reaching to the standard and then expanding is the general way, isn't it? But most of the people say in short term they understand they have to first maintain the standards among them, and also they say they were able to communicate with the clients based on their needs and also the vision. And in medium term, we say value added services and other things, as I told you earlier, price points they will understand, and then increase service quality, goals are achieved and revised, and industry networks development strengthen. As we told earlier, when you go outside for technical training, when you go outside for and talk with the other banks, when you go outside and talk with some consultants, then your strength you become more strength, as well as your network help you to go forward, so your goals will be also achieved. So this is medium term. And long term, I think after 5-6 years, what we really understood is, whenever coach goes and asks questions, right? Why didn't you promote your business? They say, we are not registered, right? Then coach asks questions. Okay, if you want to keep that in that level, you can keep it. But if you want to expand and get online payments, all this kind of stuff, then isn't it good for you to train, get registered? Those kind of questions give them a good chance to think about entering into formal economy, which I think all of us wanted. Otherwise, informal economy always dangerous. No, one wrong thing happened for one informal business affect the whole sector, right? Especially tourism sector, we all know that. And then they actually most of the time business people don't understand performance. You agree, I think, right? It's very difficult to make them understand about performance. So whenever we do coaching, we were able to make them understand, because we cluster them. We put them into different clusters and make them understand. Because of that, they understand the performance, and then they understand there's a thing called product and process, and they were able to get into small business management aspects because of these stimulated questions. And then also most of them, as I told you, I think I remember 89% is the correct, I think, number we got. They increased their profit. So they increased their income, and they were into the value chain of each sectors. Earlier, they really don't know where they are fit on into the value chain. As coaches, we all know there are value chains for each sectors. So by coaches making the clients understand by asking questions, they realize that they are in a value chain, they should be connected, they should be behaving nicely. All these things come and then trickle down benefit to employee also happening. I think most of the time, our master coaches were really practical in asking questions with the owner managers about their employees satisfaction, motivation, other things were also mentioned because of the performance metrics, right? So we were able to see this kind of a change. So that is what blended coaching is. And now we are getting into the process, right? How we are going to do the blended coaching. As all of us know, in coaching, there's a cycle, right? We start something, initiate something, and then we do some activities, and then we make the client understand that benefit the business, right? That's how we start the process. So we are having 2-3 steps of doing this. So number one is conduct operational performance evaluation, right? The purpose of this is to understand where the business is, right? All of us know we can go and ask questions and try to give advices without understanding two aspects. Number one, where they are, right? And the other one, what is their issue? So this is the difference between a consultant and a coach, I think, right? Coach will try to understand where the business is and also try to make the client understand where they are. Those are the things. And we all know there's a thing called business life cycle, right? In the business life cycle, you start with conceptualization, you go growth, and then you go to the optimal level, maturity, then decline, right? This is the curve we all know. So when we go to the business, just by 1 or 2 indicators, getting only the sales performances and try to assume that they are in maturity is dangerous, right? All of us know. So what we have to do, we have to have different measurements to understand actually where they are, right? That's what we do in the first step. We do stage of the development, as I told you, right? And then understand the challenges what they are having and the gaps, skill as well as management gaps, and then identify key important areas. For example, if we are talking about marketing, operational, human resource management, financial management as 4 kind of subsets of a business, just assume, right? We have to see which should be attended first. We should be able to prioritize the core issue of the business and then work on it. By working on it, if the client get benefit out of it, then only the coaching session will go. Imagine if we go and say a standard version, okay, marketing should be like this, you do marketing, where the product quality is low. Just imagine, right? We will be in trouble, right? So we have to really scan it through and try to see what we should do. That's why we do the operational performance evaluation. As Mr. Peter and others requested, I will show you the tool later, right? But these are the steps, first step. And then the second step, agree goals and measurement tools that will be used to monitor performances, right? This is the second part. Let's say now you are having only 2 social medias, right? One is your Facebook, the other one is, let's say, what is it? Let's say TikTok. But your products are very much wanted by young people, right? And that kind of young people are very much present in, let's say, Instagram, right? So we have to say you only have 2 social medias. Now let's put 1 to that. If you are going to develop contents and other things, get ready to Instagram, then that is another step. When you do the contents, then you publish it in Instagram, that is level 2, right? Then you see your business performances, whether your business increase. If increase, you have touched the correct point. If you don't see an increase, then you may have to revisit and see the content, do some change, and try it again in Insta. While trying Insta, you may have to try some other social medias also, because first time your assumptions is wrong. So by saying this, talking this, working with them, they understand the chemistry mechanism of doing changes and measuring the performances. This is what most of the time most of us are missing. For example, we tell go to the bank, create a bank account. That's one activity, but that is not what we want, isn't it? What we want is, okay, once you have the bank account, then you deposit all your money there, you maintain a bank book, you try to monitor that. So now, earlier you didn't have a bank account, now you have a bank account, and also you are monitoring the cash flow using the bank account. It should be the key performance indicator, not opening account, because this is where the chemistry fails. If we say, most of the time the activity plan stops at the plan level, activity level, you just tick a box. But rather than that, what we say, connect it with the key performance indicator, where the business person will try to understand where the problem is. And as I told you, the third one is key performance indicator tracking, right? Giving feedback, identifying gaps, right? For example, if you are posting advertisements on Facebook, and if you don't get enough likes or shares or businesses, then you may have to go back and work with your service provider to develop a better content, right? Then only you will get the good reputation, as well as good market for you, good sales for you. So going back and identifying gaps is another thing. So we have to teach that. If they depend on us for our next visit, they will lose the whole benefit out of it, right? That's what we are trying to say. We have to create own system for them to monitor the key performance indicator and react based on the key performance indicators. That is where I think most of the time the coaching model is different from the other models, if I'm right. Action plan is not to tick action plan. Each action should be connected with the performance indicator, is the argument that we are making in this approach, right? And also supporting client to access other business development services, as I told you, exposure visit, or any other discussion forums, right? Some of the product development these days happening is having a group where they have a tea time and they discuss. But the the business person will understand, okay, based on this discussion, these are the products they want from my business, and then they creatively create the product line, right, and test it and market it. So those are the trends now changing. So how to organize this tea evening is a creative way, right, of doing things. So we have to go and reach out to these people and understand how the new intelligent gathering things or data analysis things are happening, right? So that is the other one. And then update the action plan as actions are achieved or revised and required. So the point I am making here, action plans are not just action plans to complete. Action plans are the activities to do changes in the business and observe the performance changes. Then only the client get the intelligence of action plans, importance of action plans and actions contribution to the business performance. So connecting the actions with the business performance is the big part of the coach here. Right? So you train 25 people is not the point here. You train 25 people, how many people were able to perform nicely is the indicator for that. Right? I think all of you know, we all are in the sector, but the point is completion of training is completing an activity. But how that influence or how that change the environment of the business should be our mindset. Slightly, it's a difficult thing because most of us are stuck with the activities, but finding relevant, how do you say, changes is important. One good example is we did a digital marketing coaching, right? So when we did digital marketing coaching, the first question we asked is, okay, per week, how many clients you get? They say 20. What will the business looks like? They say 50,000. Then we do this thing and try to say, observe this. But we make it a point to give a call after 2 weeks and say, how many clients you got now? What is the amount of the sales you have? And then we make them understand, can you compare now? Only by having once a week presence in the social media, you are getting this. So why don't you increase if you think it's important, or what you think you can do? Then they say, okay, sir. One client said, now only I understand. I am producing items for the teen people, teenage or young people, but I am only marketing in Facebook. Now only I understood people are not buying because Facebook is with senior people's platform. So they were able to come up with this because of the key performance indicator. නැත්නම් අපි කියන්නේ Facebook එක ad එක දැම්මද? ඔව්. ආව නැත්ද? Okay. හරි. So yesterday I came to understand one business in Polonnaruwa, they are not getting clients. ඒගොල්ලෝ කිව්වා අපි TripAdvisor එකේ ඉන්නවා, Facebook එකේ ඉන්නවා, Google profile එකේ ඉන්නවා හැමතැනම ඉන්නවා. Then I asked, what is your business income earlier, like 100,000 per month. Then all of a sudden only 30,000 per month they are getting, right? Then I went to the TripAdvisor and found එතන දාලා තියෙනවා closed, right? Simple thing. But then we asked them to remove it. So it shows if you don't relate that, නැත්තම් කිව්වනම් ඔයා TripAdvisor ඉන්නවද, Facebook ඉන්නවද කියලා අහලා ටික් කරලා ගියා නම් ඕකේ වෙන්නේ නැහැ. So you have to always, I think, play with the performances when it comes to coaching, and especially in our blended coaching method. So blended coaching method means to us is always having a checklist or a performance indicator to check where they are and try to see, do the changes and see the reactions in the performance metrics, right? That's what we say. So simply we say this is the way we create the action plan, right? Understand the business, create an action plan, then you get external people coming into the system and giving other inputs, intelligence maybe, or networks maybe, or financial support, or doing events together. All these kind of things come because of that. If coach try to keep the client only with coach, this external input to the system is not going to happen. So that's why we call proudly this is a blended coaching method. And then performance monitoring, then feedback, give the feedback. So this time when you come, this will be a different understanding. So this is the process we should always keep within our mindset. And now we are moving to forms, as you correctly said. So shall we break here and have a small simulation so that we can understand what we talked about and how it is practical to our coaching process? Can anyone try to give some examples or clarify something or add something to this with your experiences? Can I invite some coaches to give you a observation about it? Anyone alive here? I know Mr. Peter will help me definitely. But
so,
before that, let us Mr. Lakshman is here.
Yeah, I'm here.
Sir, මොනවාරි example එකක් සර්ට් තේරෙනවද මේ අපි coaching කරනකොට කොයි වගේ දේවල් අපිට?
Yeah, I can remember in when you sent us to Polonnaruwa, and it was a different field altogether. But this man was doing hoteliering and as well as little things where he can earn money. So he had, but his main concern was making money through customers where the guests actually. And he has 6 rooms, and the rooms, of course, at that time empty. But then we said, then he asked me, now I want somehow to make some money. Leave aside the hotel. I want some money now. Then he said, okay, let's go around and see what you have. Then we saw about 25 push bicycles put in a garage, all corroded and all that. But then we thought, okay, let's take these bicycles and repair. It's all under, you can repair and use it. So we took the bicycles, and then I gave a plan to invite the bankers who are in Colombo, the top executives who come down to Polonnaruwa with their families. So we made only bicycles. We made an itinerary and made interval points, like he himself made sandwiches and drinks and all that in different points. And after about 2-3 months, he said, there are a lot of people coming for my bicycles and they're going around, and thank you very much, is it? So that's a simple thing.
Very good example. As you said, there are 2 points I observed. Number one is asking questions, and then attend to clients' need. Then client owner will then what salary salary. Then the coach is in a difficult situation. They have to bring then the ban salary. So they have to find a way to help the person out. So I think Mr. Lakshman correctly point out. I think we didn't consider that here. Observation of coach is the point here, right? So Mr. Lakshman was able to observe there are bicycles, right? They need repairs, and they were able to come up with an action plan. Then they were able to do that, and because of that, it stimulates family stay in the hotel. And simply, so these are the interesting parts. I think all of us know this, but the example help us to get down external support as well as observation is another part here. Anything others want to add?
Yeah, can I add something to that, to Mr. Lakshman's point?
Yeah.
Like it's basically the core business I heard was the accommodation room, 6 rooms. Now, Mr. Lakshman has suggested added value to them. They can make extra income because 25 bicycles just in storage, doing nothing.
Correct. Well said.
So when guests come to stay there, they can use these bicycles because that's for exercise, for with the family bonding, and to see Polonnaruwa rather than using the vehicle.
Peter, the point was they don't come to stay; they come to do the biking.
Wow.
Then they come and stay in the evening.
Yeah, that's it. So that's another pull factor.
Yeah,
Bicycles and then the rooms are sold.
Because of the bicycle matter, their rooms are also available.
And also sandwiches, food, everything.
And Mr. Lakshman is practical in that, and Mr. Mahuruf, if I'm right, in Arigambay also did the same. One property had around 6 rooms, right? And they were selling it for 6,000 or 4,000 rupees per room. It's just next to the beach, but all properties are the same, right? All of them are selling, and sometimes the evening knock culture is there. So the tourist backpackers, they go here and there, come in the evening, they get the room for 2,000 bucks if the room is 4,000, because only half a day they are going to stay. These all bad practices were there. But one of our coach, Mr. Mahurufem, right? He went and saw there's a new opportunity, right? He asked questions: do we have bars around this, juice bars? Right? The question was no. You won't believe the owner is a very good person, and then he took that point and asked why bar. Then Mr. Maruf was able to make was able to make him understand if bar is there, people staying in the other properties will come and sit and look around, right? Yeah. So bar, like the bicycle stimulator, the other juice bar was a stimulator, right? Then he was able to help the entrepreneur to upgrade his rooms as well as create a new bar, juice bar. You won't believe now the property sells a room for more than 12,000 bucks because only 6 or 7, and many people wanted to see that, because when he created the bar as an add-on, they created a small garden. Having a garden in the sea sand is not practical generally, right? Because of that environment, now value of the room went up. So it shows going around, seeing new things, having discussions, and especially the senior people, right, like us, having more experience in the ground, asking good questions, create this kind of a change. And then they were able to see the changes here. So that is what we were talking about. So having these 3 steps will make us really a different coach in the platform. So these are very simple ideas, but when we really do these kind of things, it will be a very good thing. So this is a slide I think Mr. Peter, Fernando, and others wanted. So we have forms in the system, right? We earlier had these online forms. Now we are having hard forms also. We will be developing it very soon for online. So number 1 set is having this is called understand the client business forms. One is basic information form and baseline profile form. Why we are having baseline profile form? Any ideas? I think this team is having different
if you want to measure the variation, we need a baseline information.
Very good point. Yeah, having to see the variation, we have to see the baseline form. Not only that, is that useful only for our client or is it useful for us? this baseline
So,
form is
used for
one
both
way
parties.
useful for the client, but at the same time, it's very useful for us so that we can pitch it to another client and say, when I went there, this was like this, and now I was able to change this. And even for me, each and every one of us can really see where our strength is, whether we were able to change the marketing part of it, or the production technical part of it, or the whole. So all this depends on this baseline profile form. So we will be sharing that with you all. These two things, one is basic information form, baseline profile form is a very good tool for us to see what impact we were able to do to them based on the changes we did and the coaching session we did. And then I think Mr. Lakshman knows how difficult this is because he was with us from the beginning, right? And it's very challenging when we have the baseline profile form, isn't it, Mr. Lakshman?
Yeah.
Right? So many problems. Coaching lazy, enter right?
The initial stages, we were fighting with you also.
Yeah, but we were able to see 89% of performance increase because of that baseline survey. ඒක අපි කරේ නැත්නම් දැන් අපේ මේ මොඩල් එක කාටවත් කියන්න බෑ. මොකද්ද කරේ? අපි කතා කරගෙන හිටියා ආවා. එච්චරයිනේ. නේ මොනවත් වෙන්නේ නැහැ. So really let's focus on baseline form because why I'm saying
Hansi mama ඊයේ පොඩක් කතා කරා මේ මොනවාද?
Hello. Okay. So this is one set. And then when we agree for some activity, then we developed a measurement tool. That's what we call it key performance tracking form. This is very important. I think the key performance indicator itself is a separate session, right? Most of us know, right? We will try to get Mr. Pascal for this. If not, we'll have his recording and we can have another session about it. So how to understand key performance indicator of the business which we are going, right? And then tracking that. Okay, make a change කරාම මේක වෙනස් වුණාද කියලා. ඒක එකක්. So එතනදී තමයි තියෙන්නේ action skill action plan කියන එක ඒකත් එක්කම තියෙනවා. And then we measure and evaluate performances based on the things what we do. අපි දැන් donor කෙනෙකුට වැඩ කරනවා නම් we create a coaching activity report, right? So that yes, I think somebody asked about this. Yes, we will be giving you the forms today, right? I should be able to share that with you. Please keep it with you. Don't share outside. You all know because this is a new market, right? So we should keep that with us to educate ourselves, familiarize ourselves, and then create our own forms when we go with the clients and not repeatedly showing the same form because this is very how do you say, the worth of this is like 6 years, right? We update it, upgrade it, so let us keep it within our team, so that will be really good, right? So this coaching activity report දැන් අතටම අපේ පොඩි business එකෙනෙකුට කියලා coach කරාම මේ activity report අපිට එච්චර මේ ඕන වෙන්නේ නැහැ. But imagine World Bank is supporting us to support 100 MSMEs. Then of course we should have this coaching activity report. But I encourage you all to keep this for you so that next year when you do a marketing campaign, you can say I handle timber, tourism, and event management sectors, and these are the results, and these are the people. You can get reference from them. In LinkedIn you can share it. So this coaching, don't let us not think this is not needed, right? I think we should keep this activity report. That's why we created all these forms, and this is where again we are slightly unique, and we are supporting the coach with everything. With training, with tools, with license. Coach just have to jump into the field and show how competent the coach is, right? This is what the form set is. Any questions? Okay, we'll move to the next. Yeah, for you all, just to take you into this is the basic information form. Very simple, right? It's in Excel form, right? This is your numbers and references and all these kind of things are there. And then legal status, all this, even we have put up to the level like divisional secretary ke business walada, Pradesh Sabha ke tourism development authority එකද කියලා. So when you go for a timber, you can change it නේද? Environmental authority record කියන. So by having this, ඒගොල්ලන්ට පෙන්වන්න පුළුවන් අපිට out of 6 registration you should have, you have only 2. How vulnerable you are. Right? This is the education process what we are doing with them. So this forms is a big tool set for the client to realize where the person is legally as well as financially and other things. Let's say partnership business, then they will understand, right? Okay, there's a thing called partnership. That's what we said, short term and middle term, their knowledge is developing. How is the partnership? Right? All these kind of stuff are going to happen and you are going to pitch it as per the client's knowledge. If you do it in a training program, you do it for 20 people. So you are not attentive to each and everyone. But as a coach, when you go, when you do it, really, they feel where they are and they are with you. So they think and respect you as a guru who taught them business management in your capacity. I think that's what we were able to see so far. Monohari prashnayak punama, they give you a call and say, sir, mata mehme ekak puna. So you become a part and parcel of the business advisor, but not as a dependent person or creating a dependent person. You create that person to understand. So අපි මේක කරාම ඒගොල්ලෝ ලේසි වුණා DS office එකට ගිහිල්ලා form එකක් ඉල්ලනවා, ප්‍රදේශ සභාවකින් form එකක් ඉල්ලනවා, fill කරලා දෙනවා. එතකොට the flow එකක් හරි ලස්සනයි. Right? That's what we did through this form. And then these are the science behind these KPIs. Let us understand this so that all of us can develop our own KPIs. There are very big books. If you Google it, on a KPIs list එකක් තියෙනවා. So you just have to Google and say, I am, and now you have ChatGPT and stuff, right? You just go there and tell I am going to coach this business. What are the key performance indicators? And they give you the list. For example, මෙතනදී අපි කියනවා marketing and planning වලදී we first list out what they should have, right? They should have a written business plan, budget, product concept, development strategy. නිකන්. එහෙම හිතලා අපි 0 දානවා not applicable, not operating, hari මොනවා එක. 1 කියලා දානවා vague idea, nothing in writing කියලා. Right? And then 2 කියලා දානවා we say clear idea of what to do but not nothing written down or recorded. 5 කියලා දානවා standard කියලා, basic concept plan, business plan partially implemented, and 4 and 5 when you go to 5 it's like everything is perfect, everything is good. So what you do, you develop this and go and ask the client, do they have the business plan, do they have the budget, do they have something. එතකොට ඒගොල්ලෝ කියනවානේ 1 හරි 2 කියලා. ඒගොල්ලෝ කියන symptom ඒ කියන්නේ මේ උත්තර වලින් අපි දාගන්නවා එකද දෙකද ඒගොල්ලෝ ඉන්නේ කියලා. Similarly, let's say staff performance වලට poor English එහෙම දැන් hospitality නම් මෙහෙම හිටියොත් අපි දානවා 1 කියලා. මෙහෙම හිටියොත් අපි දානවා 2 කියලා. මෙහෙම අපි define කරගන්නවා. මේකට තමයි අපි කියන්නේ key performance indicator නැත්නම් operational වලට තියෙන indicator කියලා. We tick 1 or 2 where they are. So that itself shows them that they should travel to here. නේද? ඒ plan එකක් එතන මේගොල්ලන්ට එනවා. ඒගොල්ලෝ දැන් ඉන්නේ මෙතන. ඒ වුණාට පහ ගන්න නම් මේ දේවල් ටික කරලා ඉන්න ඕනේ කියලා. That itself give them a target. So informal activity plan. So this is where, as we told earlier, right? It helps us as well as the client where they are, how should we support them කියන එක මෙතනදී. Right? මේ වගේම මෙතනදී when we develop this first time and mark it here, when we go next time we can ask where they are. So they can now, when they go and put it here 4 or 5, they understand, okay, I am progressing. Most of the time business people අපේ coaching ගත්තාන් පස්සේ බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන දේ තමයි income එක වැඩි වෙන එක. නැත්නම් profit එක වැඩි වෙන එක. ඒක ඒ වෙලෙම සිද්ධ වෙන්නේ නැහැ. Right? We can't expect that change, So we have these tools to make them understand you are slowly growing into several aspects. When you come together, when the things come together, only your profit will be increased or your sales will be increased. So in order to educate them, we have this key performance indicator based scanning system, right? That's where these things comes in. So when we go first time, we fill the basic information form and then we fill the baseline profile form. by doing these two, right, we will be able to educate them where they are, how they should travel. Because as I told you already, this has all the checklists, what they should do. right? මෙතන ඉන්නවා නම් ඊළඟට කරන්න තියෙන්නේ මේක. ඊළඟට යන්න තියෙන්නේ මෙහෙම කියලා ඒගොල්ලන්ටම idea එකක් එනවා. So step by step they perform and they go into the growth stage or the next stage. Was it clear to all of us, or do you want me to clarify it more? Team? Anything you want to get clarified before I go to the next? Avantika, let me ask one or two people to just to check so that this will be useful. Are you there, Avantika? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. How is it? Were you able to understand? Do you have any clarification, Avantika?
Yes, yes.
What? You're okay?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, but
Okay.
I'm asking whether you got the points what we discussed here.
Yes.
Okay. Ishani. Ishani to come then.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Clear then?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. And so, Mr. Suranga, you're okay? You may be using this,
All
right?
clear, sir. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you. Right. So based on this, let us move to the next thing. Because of that, we were able to come up with these statistics. That's what we are trying to say. This is for our whole program, right? 89% improve their business performances. අපි මේක කියන්න පුළුවන් උනේ අපිට බේස් ලයින් එකක් තියෙන හින්දා. So as coaches, always try to keep these kind of statistics with you so that when you face next licensing interview, they will be asking you questions related to this. How many MSMEs, micro, small, medium enterprises you supported? What is the performance increase? What is the percentage of income increase? So, apita eka kiyන්න පුළුවන් වෙන්න ඕන, right? If we don't have that statistics, I think we can't say that we are helping the organizations or MSMEs, because this is a self-test as well as test to that sector. Right, so that's where we will be leading some other coaches when it comes to our brands next year. Hope all of us realize that, right? When we go, imagine if we say out of this, right, this much of benefits we were able to give it to the MSME. I think this kind of statistics is going to be unique. And ඇත්තටම අපිව වෙන විදියට අනිත් අයට පෙන්වන්න පුළුවන් වෙනවා. So we should be able to make use of the tools created by this program as well as try to show others what. Sometimes it may be 45%, sometimes it may be 35% change, but still it's a change, it's a positive change, right? And then we do more research and try to see who scores more. Then we have a master class with that coach. Sometimes we may have to have discussions. What are the tools we use? For example, Mr. Upul Piris, who is one of the master coaches like Mr. Lakshman, right? He used to go with many tools, right? Visiting cards, and then some recipes, all this as a one stop center, right? ඔතන මේ coaching කරනකොට මොනවාරි හදිස්සියෙන් ඕන වුණොත් එයා මේක දීලා කියනවා, you go and have a training with chef, one of the chefs, get more technology. අපි ඒ වගේ දවස්වල මේ restaurant 4ට විතර මේක ඕන වුණාම අපි sponsor කරා ඒ training. So they were able to come together and learn from that. So that's where this, I think you remember this map, right? That's where this link with the other support services comes in. So we proved that if they can get some advice or support from them, they will be able to do it. So in order to do this, I think what we should always have is take some time to record. When we start, what is the baseline, and then we have to take some time to measure it ongoing. So you should be able to have your own performance with you for your own purpose. Let's say World Bank is calling for a big project, then FCCISL or SOIG may have to choose some good performing coaches. එතකොටදී ඒ වෙලාවවලදී අපිට කරන්න තියෙන එකම වැඩ මේක තමයි, right? What is the performance increase, what is the income increase? So fair to everyone, and we will be showing you an online tool where you will be recording it. I'm not going to load it today. We will be having another session where you will be given access to your own performance. You will openly record it so that others can also. So it's going to be a self-challenging game, huh? Right? So it's going to be very interesting to see where we are good at and where we should develop ourselves. And among ourselves, we will be able to understand our strengths and support our next coach on the aspects which we are clear about, and we can get support. So this mechanism, and we already created a professional business coaching association where we all will become coach members there. There, each and everyone will be helping each other, and we will become a unique body where any MSMEs can reach us, and we should be able to measure the things what we do for the charges what we get, and the charges will be differ from this success rate, right? Success rate to success rate. And level 1 coaches who got the license will be elevated to the next level based on the performances, as well as level 3 people may be sent to the next level based on this. So all these things are based on the recording what we are going to do online. If we don't do coaching next year when we go, I think naturally we can think that we will be taking out of the system, because we are not proving that we are doing. So whatever the coaching you do, please make a note of it, whether it's your own passion or whether somebody funded you to do record, make a record out of it, keep their clients' numbers as well and record it so that you can assess your capacity and also show others about your system. So is that clear to us now? Are we getting this message that this license දැන් අපි දැන් අපේ application එක දුන්නා, CV එක දුන්නා, license අපිට හම්බුණා කියලා කිව්වට, this is the system we wanted to rock with you all today. So Avantika, let me ask Avantika whether you are clear about this. Avantika, now up to now, are you okay?
Yes, Shakti. Yeah.
Oh, you are clear about it, right?
Yeah.
So what should you do now after this session? What should be the next step?
Yeah, I'm trying to engage with other people, and I want to review this session again and again. So then after I can go for
Yeah,
and recording part.
නෑ මං කියන්නේ දැන් මේක ඉගෙන ගත්තාම පස්සේ මං හිතන්නේ අපි ඉස්සෙල්ලාම බලන්න ඕනේ අපේ key performance indicator form එක බලලා ඒකට සුදුසු business එකක් අල්ලගෙන try කරන්න ඕනේ නේ. නැත්තම් මේක අපිට practice වෙන්නේ නැහැ.
Practice වෙන්නේ
නේද? Right, අපිට තියෙන මං හිතන්නේ තව මාස 10ක් තියෙන්නේ අපි හැමෝටම to apply for the next license. මේ වෙලාවේ ඕගොල්ලන්ට කාටවත් අපි pay කරන්න කිව්වේ නැහැ because we sponsored it. Next time you will be paying.
Yeah.
නේද? එතකොට ඒ ලයිසන්ස් එක තිබුණොත් නේ අපිට මේ network එක හම්බ වෙන්නේ federation එකෙන් සහ අනිත් business උත් එක්ක. So because of that, it's our own commitment. We have to go faster, get some businesses, try to help them. දැන් 10ක් coach කරාම සමහර වෙලාව 5ක් විතරයි success වෙන්නේ. අනිත් 5 success වෙන්නේ නැතුව ඇති ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ වැරද්ද හින්දා. හරිද? ඒක නිසා අපි 10ක් 5ක් අරගෙන හොඳට focus කරලා මේ හැමදාම වගේ සතියට දෙසරයක් හරි follow up කරලා success එක gain try කරපු ගමන්ම අපිට evidence එකක් හදලා ඉවරයි. හැදිලා ඉවරයි අපි coach කියලා. ඒක තමයි අපි කියන්නේ license කියලා. Right? නිකම් license එක අරගෙන හිටියාම ඔය license එක active වෙන්නේ නැහැ නේද? හරිද? Yeah, not only for Avantika, the rest of the team. I think we understand the importance of having the rhythm, interaction with the businesses, and there will be struggles. We all can discuss. We can have a set up a master class, we can talk with them, right? We can do something, and we can, keep the rhythm up to the level what we should be. But imagine මේ license එක අරගෙන මාස 6ක් ගියාන් පස්සේ එක client කෙනෙක් හරි හම්බ වෙලා නැත්තම්, මේක පුරවලා නැත්තම් නේද? මේක අපි KPI එක develop කරලා නැත්තම් ඇත්තටම we will be out of the stream. That is the natural thing, no? Right? That we all have to be careful about. I think our Mr. Kirti and the team is very much observing, and they are also searching for new opportunities to get this kind of coaching support. So if the project is not supporting, it's our duty to do 5 coaching sessions and their contacts and where they were and now where they are and all this kind of stuff, and get it ready. So it's our own pace. We have to do it. Huh? That's the point. Solakshi, තේරුණාද Solakshi?
Yes, I got it.
Okay, so what is your understanding? What should be your action plan now?
Now I think I should practice one business.
Yeah, then Sulakshita, dhammama ඕන තරම් clients ලා ඉන්නව නේද සුලක්ෂි?
ඉන්නවා.
ඔව් නිදායකනේ. හරිද?
ඔව්.
එතකොට නිදායක ඉන්න අයට මේ හැමදාම ඕගොල්ලෝ වැඩ කරන්නේ මේක තමයි. එකම දේ මේ clients ලාගේ 5 දෙනෙක් අරගෙන ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ base line එක fill කරගන්න.
Yes.
With their permission. Fill කරලා coaching විදියට කරගෙන යන්න. Advice කරන්න ගියාම තමයි ප්‍රශ්නේ. හරිද? culture එක පොඩ්ඩක් coaching පැත්තට බර දෙන්න. මෙතන ඉන්න මේ ඩෙඩායට ඒ chance එක තියෙනවා. සමහර අපි වගේ අයට ඒ opportunity එකක් නැහැ. So NEDA friends, you have big opportunity, and I request other friends to note down the names here, get connected with them so that they will give you 2-3 clients to you for coaching. හරි නේද? Right? එතකොට මේ අපිට පුළුවන් මේ NEDA එකේ කීප දැන් සුලක්ෂි ඉන්නවා, ඉෂානි ඉන්නවා නේද? ඒ වගේ අයට පුළුවන් ඕගොල්ලන්ගේ clients ලා දෙන්නේ තුන් දෙනෙක්ව අපේ මෙතන ඉන්න coaches ලාට දෙන්න, so that they can also work with the clients and get some performances recorded, because that's our primary need, right? Okay, is that clear to all of us? Can you please use the how do you call it, the symbol to show us whether you are clear about it? Slowly අපි ඒකත් කරමුකෝ නේද? You can put your hands thumb up or something like that, so that we are familiarizing with the Zoom. Shall we?
Excuse me, Mr. Shakti.
Yes.
දැන් අර මේ client base එක පුරවන්න අපිට මේ Google sheet එකක් වගේද ලැබෙන්නේ, නැත්නම් අපි print කරලා ඒක ගන්න ඕනේද, කොහොමද කරගන්න පුළුවන්?
ඔව් මං හිතන්නේ practical එක තමයි ඔයගොල්ලෝ ඉස්සෙල්ලා print කරලා ගන්න ඒ sheet එක. නේද? අරගන්න. හැබැයි online තියාගන්න. ඒ දන්නවද දැන් හැමදාම දැන් එක සැරයක් අපි අද යනවා. පස්සේ සති දෙකකට පස්සේ හරි මාසයකට පස්සේ අපි යනවා. එතකොට රෙකෝඩ් කරන්න එපා. ඔන්ලයින් කරාම
අපිට මේ කොහොමත් මේ නෙඩා නිසා අපිට කොහොමත් client ලා හැමදාම day to day ඉතින් face වෙනවනේ.
ඔව්.
එහෙනම් අපිට PDF එකක් දානවද group එකට?
නෑ අපි මම දැන් මේක ඉවර වෙච්ච ගමන් ඒ Excel sheet එක ඕගොල්ලන්ට දානවා. ඒක ඕගොල්ලන්ගේ නමින් save කරලා computer එකේ තියාගන්න.
Okay, thank you.
එක client කෙනෙකුට එක sheet පාවිච්චි කරන්න.
හරි.
මෙතන තියෙන හැම එකම මේ අපි ඕගොල්ලන්ට දෙන්නේ sample එකක්. ඒක hotel වලට විතරයි දාලා තියෙන්නේ. හරිද? ඔයගොල්ලෝ දැන් කීප දෙනෙක් එකතු වෙලා කියමුකෝ දැන් මේ agriculture garden clients ලා කියලා. ඒගොල්ලන්ට KP එකක් ඔයගොල්ලෝ එකතු වෙලා හදලා තියාගන්න. නේද? එතකොට ඔය හැමෝටම පාවිච්චි කරන මේ මොඩල් එක. අනිත් එක අපේ WhatsApp group එකේ share කරන්න ඔයගොල්ලෝ කවුරු හරි අලුත් KP එකක් හදුවන්න. KPA set එකක්. So sometimes you will become more familiar with this kind of stuff, ned? So that is where the peer learning comes in, as Madhi always says, right? Our friend Madhi Michael is here, so he believes on peer learning. That is, I also believe. Ned? Api kawurut perfect na, as Mr. Kirti said, right? We should be able to get some ideas. Ned? Aragena, we should be able to develop more KPIs. Huh? Okay, I shouldn't see more hands saying thumbs up. So if people don't know how to do it, they should find a way to get it, because we all are coaches. In future, we should be able to find that and put that symbol in. Okay, so let me go to the next slide. This is about our system, right? Api මෙච්චර වෙලා කතා කරේ coaching service දෙන්නේ කොහොමද කියලා. ඒ වුණාට මේ coaching model එකක් තියෙනවා. මම අපි නිතරම කතා කරනවා වගේ model කියලා කියන්නේ මේ coaching දිගටම ලංකාවේ පවත්වාගෙන යන්න sustainably තියන්න අපි මොනවද කරලා තියෙන්නේ කියලා knowledge එකක්. හරිද? දැන් අපිට 98 දෙනෙක් තමයි අපේ competitors ලා. Very soon there will be more fresh bloods coming into this team, right, as coaches, right? So we'll see how this is. So as I told you, then අපිට license වෙලා අපි coaching service වලට enter වෙලා තියෙනවා because of our experiences and the way we present the CV and the way we did the application form. Only based on that we were selected. This is where we are entering, and then we are providing coaching services. But already we developed a course, as I told you earlier. හරිද? මේ course එක freshers ලා course එක කරලා මේ stream එකට ඇතුල් වෙන්න පුළුවන්. Right? You will have many questions. I'll answer it before you all ask. Okay? So this is the course. For course, අපි universities, NGOs, private sector institute 15ක් විතර අවුරුදු එකමාරක විතර ට්‍රේන් කරලා හැම ඉන්ස්ටිටියුෂන් එකෙම දෙන්නෙක් විතර ඉන්නවා ලෙක්චරර්ස්ලා. මේ කෝචින් එක ඉනෝවේටිව් මෙතඩ් එකේ කියලා දෙන්නේ කොහොමද කියලා ලෙක්චරර්ස්ලා ඉන්නවා. ඕකේද? and then ඒ වගේම මේ කෝස් ඉවර වෙන අයට ලයිසන්ස් දෙන්න ක්‍රමයක්ත් තියෙනවා. අපි වගේ එක්ස්පීරියන්ස් උත් එක්ක ලයිසන්ස් දෙන්න ක්‍රමයක්ත් තියෙනවා. right? ඒ ඔක්කොම කරගෙන යන්නේ දැන් මැනේජ් කරන්නේ Federation of Chamber. The reason is their mandate is to support micro, small, medium enterprises. වෙන chambers තියෙනවා. ඒගොල්ලෝ පොඩ්ඩක් උඩ. ඒ වගේම මේ commitment of Mr. Keethi and team, Mr. Indika and team, right? They were with us for last, 4 to 5 years. Because of all, they are providing license as well as they are promoting coaching services. අනාගතයේදී මේගොල්ලෝ ඇඩ් එකක් දානකොට දාන්නේ 98 දෙනා ෆෙඩරේෂන් එකෙන් ලයිසන්ස් ගත්ත අය ඉන්නවා කියලා. ඔයගොල්ලෝ net එකට ගිහිල්ලා බලන්න දැන් වෙනකොට ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ නම ටික අප්ඩේට් වෙලා ඇති. නේද මිස්ටර් ඉන්දික? right මම ඊයේ check කරා අප්ඩේට් වෙලා තිබුණා. හරිද? So this is what happening. So there are 3 pillars. One is course to give input about coaching to the freshers. The other one is licensing. 2 ways. One, the people who complete the course will be also applying for licensing. People like us will also applying the licensing, and it will be provided by Federation. In future, Federation will say, coaches are there, why don't you approach them? There's a charge for us to link them කියලා. Federation එකේ website එකේ තියෙන link කරන්න නම් Federation එකට ගානක් ගෙවන්න වෙනවා පොඩි ගානක්, right? And then they will be getting that, right? Yeah, so this is the model. අපි model කියලා කියන්නේ මේක තමයි. දැන් වැඩිදුර කියනවා නම් trainers ලාට මේ course එක දෙන trainers ලාට අපි trainer manual කියන එකයි, assessment tool කියන එකයි, toolkit කියන එකයි, trainer resources කියන එකයි හදලා තියෙනවා. ඒ වගේම participants ලා මේ course එක follow කරන participants ලාට මේ book හතරම තියෙනවා. I know what you are going to ask. You like to have all these e-books, not the physical books, because physical book, one book costs around 7,000 to 10,000 bucks to print this, so it will be very big amount, and I think wasting paper is also not useful these days. So apita puluwan velata we will talk with our management and try to give the materials to you so that you can refer. Why I am saying this is danata training organization වලට විතරයි මේක අපි දීලා තියෙන්නේ. ඒගොල්ලෝ training course කරන්න එපා ඒක නිසා. So ඕක open කරාම ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ market එකට ප්‍රශ්නයක් වෙයිද කියන පොඩි ප්‍රශ්නයක් තියෙනවා, but we'll make sure we try our best to give it to you all, right? That is one. And then now we are moving to the licensing part of it, right? Sorry, the slide was a bit mess, but the idea for you all, දැන් කීප දෙනෙක් අහලා තිබුණා අපිට ලයිසන්ස් එක හම්බුනේ කොහොමද කියලා. මම එදා ප්‍රසන්ට් කරා ඒ වුණාට මේ level වලට 50 hours, 100 hours, 200 hours ඕගොල්ලන්ගේ application එකෙන් prove කරලා තියනවාද කියලා බලනවා. ඒ වගේම coaching, business coaching, publications experiences, other experiences, academic experiences එක marks දාලා තමයි you got your licenses based on this. So if someone, I think 1 or 2 people said I did more coaching than any others, right? It's okay, but if you didn't mention that in your application form, we don't know. So sorry, right? We were able to do maximum what we can. Thanks to Mr. Keethi and team. They also sat for several days to go through all these 150, I think, application forms, and then they were able to select people, right? So I think we should be able to do more work in future. And now on, the problem is next year, if we want our license to be there, I think we are having a big responsibility of fulfilling the assessments, right? Yeah. And this is about, as I told you, we should be clear about this. Then annually make a spiral එකක් වෙනවා. දැන් අනිත් අයගේ standard එක වැඩි වෙනකොට නේද? Annual evaluations යනකොට KPI උඩ තමයි මේවා සිද්ධ වෙන්නේ. Key performance indicator අපි බලනවා. ඒ අනුව තමයි evaluation එක ඒ වෙලාවේ මම ඒ evaluation committee එකේ නැති වෙනවා because the program will be finished by next year. So there will be a board. Federation will have the full control out of it. So there will be a fee charge for each levels. According to my small knowledge now, Madhi, are you there? Maybe Madhi is having another meeting. So
yes, Sakti.
Yeah. Do you remember the fees? Level 3, Madhi, 15,000. Eh?
Yeah, 15,000.
15,000. Yes, yes.
Yeah, 15,000, 10,000, 5,000. Eh?
10,000, 5,000. Yes.
Yeah. So as of now, because of the wholesale model, lead coaches annually ගෙවන්න වෙලා තියෙන්නේ 15,000. අපි ඕගොල්ලෝ වෙනුවෙන් ඒක ගෙවලා තියෙන්නේ federation එකට. හරිද? ඒ වගේම level 2 10,000. level 5 5,000. What is your guess? Next year මේ amount එක මේ විදිහට තියේද වැඩි වෙයිද? Any ideas, coaches?
I think it'll increase.
Why? Why you think it's increased?
It depends, like if there is if you're charging money from the clients, and then probably probably you will keep it for 15.
Yeah.
It depends.
Correct. Yeah, so I think what we should do as coaches is to understand the mechanism. The application එක අපිට හම්බ වෙනවා. ඒගොල්ලන්ට interview එකක් තියන්න ඕනි නේද? අපි verify කරන්න ඕනි information එක. එහෙම ඔක්කොම කරන්න ගියාම man hours are involved. Yes, Ms. Rukmani, yeah.
I have a question. So when we pay the annual license, is there any way to get the kind of identity card or a kind of things where we can show? Because it's true that we have the license from the chamber, but when we go for the kind of a place or outside or a meet client to make them more confidence, we need to have to show them something because we are certified people. Actually, I know that it can be proven with our presentation the way we are talking, but other than that, if there are any way to get the kind of identity card.
Yeah, I like to two things. Like I like to give this opportunity to Mr. Kirti and others to respond because that is their thing. But how others look at it, coaches? So it's a good proposal, Ms. Rukmani Kineka. What do you think? What should be the priority to have these identity cards?
Shakti, even as it is, you can use the QR code we have used in your certificate. Take a picture of that one, pass it to anyone, so that will come back to our site and show you that you are a certified coacher, and under that one, it will show you're in the master coach or academic or whatever the grade also will be shown. And immediately as soon as you scan your name and your coaching title will come on screen. So that is why I created that QR code, thinking little future, because people will ask this question. I realized even at the first stage, because now it creates value really. But apart of that, now that I'm speaking, if the new people can create some good success stories, Shakti, we can now, if we tell all the chamber people to come on board, and we are going to make a presentation over this one. But if we can tell somebody that this was operating for not very long time, short time, but within that we have huge results created by different coaches, and we want to have a discussion with them, then I'm sure that all the entrepreneurs is going to join this.
Super
we
point.
Can have a big session and show few simple cases where we are not going to talk, we'll get the coaches to talk.
Yeah, good point.
So then 2 minutes, 3 minutes, you can present a case where it was 100, like in our case, that 105,000 sales has grown up to 1.4 million. If you tell something like that, everyone will try to approach you all and get your services. So then again, the process that Shakti was telling, get ready for that, do analytical work, all that is, your back-end work, which you have to improve yourself. So once you improve yourself, going to some place, you will have the confidence that what you're talking, how you're going to handle the situation. So that's what we are trying to do now.
Yeah, very good point. As you said, sir, that is the license and that is the evidence for our market. I think all of us know it.
Shakti, can I say something
yes,
on this? Yeah. Now, all of y'all can, you wanted an identification to show that you are a certified coach. So that, of course, we will be issuing at the Professional Business Coaches Association, PBC, CA, we will be giving you the member. Once you obtain the membership, we will upload the membership application and the guideline to fill it and the code of ethics for you all to follow through. So the PBCA will be issuing identity card with the registration number and all the details. So that will be the identification that you can use to show that you are a qualified and accepted license the coach in Sri Lanka. So PBCA is the association, Professional Business Coaches Association. We are going to launch the Professional Business Coaches Association on end of this month. So, and also at the same time, we can upload the application form for you all to become the members, because that's going to be a sort of a fraternity for all the coaches to get together and share experiences. And there may be lots of benefits that you all can experience at the Business Coaches Association. So that will be the identification that you are talking about. I think
I think we have to be careful about, we have to be clear about two things. As you correctly said, membership is one thing, as you correctly said, Ms. Kanti, having a membership and try to focus or market ourselves with the membership is also one thing. And as Mr. Keerthi mentioned, the level of coaching.
You participated for that?
Yes, sir. Sir, you want to say something, Mr. Keerthi?
No, sorry. Actually, I think you want to contact Gamini. He is the in charge for that professional cookery.
Hello?
Yes.
So, the level, of course, we will be issuing the different colors.
Okay, I will
the
send
identification
you.
ID
Sure.
card.
Madhi, you had to mute yourself. Sir.
Hello?
Okay. Yes, miss. I think I agreed, but at the same time,
3 levels will be issued. 3 levels, 3 different cards. That's what we are planning to
no problem. We agree. We agree with that. But at the same time, I think we have to emphasize here the importance of keeping the license and the standards based on the performances. That we are talking here.
Yes.
So those are, I think, for me, correct me if I'm wrong, there are two things. One is about keeping record of your successes, submitting it to federation, get your license based on the evaluations is one thing. As Ms. Kanti correctly said, having a membership for associations, another thing. Both connected, but we have to have evidence to keep it alive. That's the point I think we are making here. Mr. Nataraja Ravi Kumar, please.
Just I already you have answered that question, because if they have a registered number, if the membership number, they can show that they are registered in this association and they are the professional coach. The registered number is this. That is more than enough, I think.
Anyway, so I think we all have to, what I'm trying to say here is whether we have register numbers or any other things, it should be a live one. In order to keep it live for next year, we have to work from now onwards to keep the license upgraded, isn't it? I think all of us
based
will
on
agree
the
on that.
based on the performance records, we can reevaluate the possibility of continuing with the same category. So
that's right. And
then they have to renew every year. They have to renew the membership as well.
Correct. So for your information, sorry to jump in because we are getting closer to the time. Please go to the chat box, and thank you very much for Michael, for giving us the link. Please go to this link and get all your materials downloaded, right? Not only coaching, but also other materials are also available. So from now onwards, coaches will have all the books which they will be reading, and all the presentations I did here, all the slides kind of captured from those materials here, right? Thank you. Then let me proceed. Any other points? Michael, what is this, Madhi?
No, it's just the copy of that. Sometimes they may find the top of that, so they want to go below to find that the links or the coaching.
Thank you very much, Madhi. Thank you. Okay, so with this, as we discussed, these are the, I'm going back to the presentation. These are the 15 institutions who are having trainers who can train coaching courses. Southeastern University, Open University. We selected this based on the paper advertisement. We went with the paper advertisement saying that we are going to provide professional business coaching course, materials and trainings to the interested institutions. All 15 institutions reached us. We had interviews, we had training of trainers programs for last 1.5 years, and now 2-3 organizations already advertised. So if you want to recommend someone to become coaches who are fresh, please recommend them to reach out to these institutions and try to find when they are going to run the course and get them enrolled. General fee, they informed us those days is 60,000 per candidate for this. And about further, this is the information you may ask, right? So this is the information about the course. There are 13 to 15 modules. Sometimes some 1 or 2 materials have around 15 modules, if I'm right. And they should complete 200 hours of classroom education. That means either hybrid or online or in person, I don't know. But they should finish this course, 200 hours. Once they finish, they will be linked with Federation for 100 hours on the job training. So when they finish these two, they will be certified, but based on the Federation evaluation, right? After all these 300 hours of input, Federation team will assess their ability and try to give a certificate to them. So this is the another pathway which we are recommending. So again, among all of us, sometimes some of us may like to learn more about positive thinking, let's say. That is one of the subjects, right? So then you can come together and invite Professional Business Coaching Association or Federation to run this course only for that group of people to develop their skill set, right? That we can take our own initiations to develop ourselves. If you are not clear about key performance indicators, you can have another session, right? Like that, we should find a way to get ourselves educated or skillful in the matters what we have, right? So for your information, the license what we all are having now is the next step of this. After completion or having the knowledge input equal to this, then only we are getting the license. So we should be able to understand that and keep it in mind, because it was a quick process when we did this. Right, we evaluated, we inform you all and all, but actually these are the theory behind the evaluations, right? That committee was able to check whether we had enough learning hours, right? Through workshops, through materials we developed, or through the publications, right? And then where we be able to do some coaching. Sometimes it may be business consultancy, it may be business counseling, right? Based on that only, all of us were assessed and our license was given. So we should realize that because it was a sudden event. So our Madi also wanted me to emphasize this in that event. I tried my best, and also I am trying to make you all understand. So let us not think that, we were not assessed. That's not the case here. Each and every one of us, based on our CV and the way we filled the application, we were assessed and assumed or understood by the team that you are very much going into level 1, level 2, or level 3. Some of you may miss level 2 just, within 2-3 sentences, right? But still, it's our duty to understand that we went through a rigorous process to get these things from there. And these are the ideas about clients and stuff. For the client, what is the benefit? For the business, what is the benefit? For the community, the benefit, and the employees' benefit. Of course, you can read it later, and I have already put it. Right? These are the 2 examples, right? Based on the thing here, you can understand their statement as a coach. The coaching was an eye-opener and provided me with the motivation and directions to regenerate my business. I sold my car and even my jewelry to raise 5 million to move to a new location, hire 3 new staff, and create a business. In this short time, I have settled my debts and bought a new car, and I feel enthusiastic. This is the story Mr. Keethi mentioned now. It's not about license or identity card. If a client of yours can say, I got coaching from this person, and this is the change I underwent. I think that is the evidence. That is what we call it the real result. And also another hotel owner, he suffered a lot, and now he is coming up, and he want more experience about this, because he found he was able to regenerate income because of this. So these are the stories we have to collect. So when we do coaching, if possible, once the first session is finished, try to get 2 minutes and ask them, how do you explain my coaching session? Then write it down and take a point, and you may need it for the marketing materials. And you all know, any digital material you develop is called digital assets. It stays with you forever. You can reuse it for marketing, right? So take a photo, and I think Mr. Lakshman knows, when we started coaching, we say, when you go to the property, take some photos. How disorganized that was when you went there, right? You take it. And then when the business is developed, take another photo. Just put these 2 things and 2-3 sentences. That's it. It shows who you are. So those creative way of collecting digital assets, digital evidences should be always with us. We can have another session about digital assets and digital content development and all these, to make ourselves equipped with coaches. So for NEDA and others, always you meet many people. You have done tremendous change in the industry. But the question is, were we able to record that in the performance metrics? Can we own that change? Do we have a system of that? NEDA will definitely have, I'm sure, but it's about our skill and the performance change happened in the business. That's where I think our blended coaching model is slightly different. So in order to finish, I think I already told you, this person is not yet a licensed coach, right? He's just a digital coach, but he was able to change this from 25,000 to 800,000, 30,000 to 400,000. So now he became a successful coach, even though he's not having a license. According to my small knowledge, I think he's not having. Madi, Chamal Chamal didn't get anything. Madi, are you there? Sorry, Madi may be in another meeting. So I think if I am right, he didn't get. But imagine the work he put on, taking photos, naming the business, putting that online, and making sure he assesses the baseline as well as now latest one. So this is each and every coach's responsibility, skill set, competency to assess them, right? Whether they belong to level 1 or level 3, their capacity, and try to keep that in a thing. Madi,
yes, Sakti.
I'm just checking with you about Chamara. He is not a licensed coach as of now, Neil.
Yes.
I think he's not.
Yeah.
Did he apply? No.
Maybe he will be in the North Central region, so he may be. Yeah,
maybe he's applying. So this is one competitor now, right? You can see it's a healthy competitor to us who was able to change these income differences, right? So we all should have tried to keep a small folder where whenever we go, take some photos, take the pre or before status through photos, and you think, okay, this will change because of my coaching, then take a photo. This may change. So take some evidences, so that one day, after 2 years or 5 years of traveling, you may really see, and you can really feel proud about the competencies what we got because of this license. And even internationally, you may have an opening to go, because your sector, let's say handicraft sector or any sector, can be there. And these are the benchmarking associations we are talking about. As we discussed earlier, already this brand or this kind of products are there, and all these organizations are providing it. Some of our coaches who are having license also part of these federations and associations who are holding licenses, and we can definitely negotiate with these international organizations when we become standard licensed coaches from Sri Lanka. Imagine 300 coaches coming together, 200 coaching coming together, reach out to ACF or ICF and negotiate better price, better analysis, assessments to get some exemptions and get the license internationally. It's just like 2 months away if we all are there and work together and prove that we are recording the evidences, we are recording the performance changes, and then also we are skillful and competent to get these things. So I think Ms. Kanti is also representing, if I'm right, ICF, and there are some people from ACF, if I'm right, among our team. So this will give us more power, bargaining power, and also some technical aspects they may be helping us, right? So we should be able to reach out to the international market. And Mr. Keith is also working to identify one small opening where we should be able to work with a country which need coaching and try to prove Sri Lankan coaches are capable of changing the environment, and hope Mr. Keethi will be quickly supporting us, and we all can really be proud about our work, and we can move forward into the international place, international platforms. With that, let me finish this, and now I will be sharing the key KPI documents, if that is okay for you all, as I agree. Before that, shall we have a small chat about today? What do you think? Were you able to understand our big, how do I say, ambition, and were you able to grab something today? What's your, this is an evaluation to me, as I told you earlier, just to understand whether we were able to reach. Now, I think we spent around 2 hours. That was my plan also, not to get more time. Can I ask some of you to come up with some of your feedbacks about the session so that I can get ready to share the KPI? If I have time, I can show the KPI tool to you all. I'll try to get it. Yeah, can I invite you all to give some ideas about today's session? Genuine, honest feedback. Shimali Pereira, are you there? Can you give some ideas about how you, whether you were able to get it or you need some more support to get it?
Shakti, Shimali calling here.
Pardon?
Shimali calling here, Mr. Shakti.
Yeah, Shimali, can you, were you able to understand this? Madi, can you help me to upload this tool while I am talking?
Yeah.
Thank you very much, sir. Sorry if I'm bothering you.
No, it's okay. Which tool? The KPI?
Yeah, KPI toolkit, yeah. Yes.
Oh, Mr. Shakti, then අපේ අතින් මිස් වෙන්නේ ඇත්තටම මේ රිපෝටිං පාර්ට් එක තමයි. අපි day to day අපි business coaching කරනවා සෙඩ් ඔෆිසර්ස්ලා විදිහට. රිපෝටිං පාර්ට් එක ඒක ඔෆිෂියලි මට්ටමින් ඒක යනවා, නමුත් අපි ඒකට ඉන්වෝල්ව් වෙන්නේ නැති නිසා රිපෝටිං පාර්ට් එක අපේ අතින් මිස් වෙනවා. ඉතින් රිපෝටිං පාර්ට් එකත් එක්ක අපිට අර කියනවා වගේ ක්ලයන්ට්ස්ලා ඉන්න නිසා අපිට මේක කරන්න පුළුවන්. We will try.
Okay, so you පොඩ්ඩක් idea එකක් ආවද? ඒ කියන්නේ මේ KPI කියන idea එකක් ආවද? මේ coaching process කියන idea එකක් ආවද?
Oh.
Okay.
I get some.
Shakti, sorry, I am unable to upload because I am a participant, so it is only.
No, I have uploaded it. Thank you, Macha. I have uploaded it. In your chat box, you will see coaching KPI toolkit. Please download it and keep it with you all. Okay, so let's go to another person. Anyone wanted to say something about today's session? Were you able to understand or you need more clarifications? Ape Nilanda sir? Busy then? Busy Vadi.
Shakti, we can organize another session also, the Pascal recording about the KPI and others. We can use them one day, so you can pass this message.
Yeah, that's what. So if you all can download the document and go through, then you should be able to understand it. Once you understand, let us know. I will work with Madhi. We will find a suitable time to do another session, or as Madhi said, the recording which explain how to fill this. Okay, so we'll work with that because today is too heavy, so we can do that. Anyone wanted to say something about today's session.
Hi, Shakti. This is very effective session, Shakti, because even though most all of the coaches know what is the coaching, but we need to adhere with the procedures and policies which the FCC and SOIG is doing to follow in the get the license and upgrade in it. So it is really important to know about your policies and procedures. So this is a kind of eye opener. So this is very effective, and you have delivered in a wonderful way. And getting the feedback from the participants. So this is very effective, and thank you so much, Shakti.
Thank you very much. Thank you. So another person who can give some ideas to upgrade, develop this further, or where is our Mr. Ajit from Ratnapura? Are you there or are you busy? How you look at it?
Thank you, Shakti. It is very useful for us to start the coaching sessions and how we have to plan it and everything. So I think everybody needs your support when they are in the field. So I hope to keep in touch with you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Definitely, I think you all have my number. If you don't have, I'll type it here. Feel free to reach out because that's how we have to educate ourselves. I also learn. So my number is there. At any point of time, if you have any clarifications individually, please reach out because I am also learning through the discussions and try to add up as Mr. Keethi said. So, and also feel free to reach out to other master coaches. If some of them are new, you can ask about the KPI, but the basic techniques like Mr. Lakshman mentioned, right? How to handle, how to solve. I think we should be able to have our things clarified by some real experienced people. So make use of those resources. I think that will be really good. I got 1 or 2 missed calls. That's nice. You are responding immediately. And anything else? Anyone want to say anything? Otherwise, I'll hand over that back to Mr. Keethi. Sir, you want to say something?
Shakti,
yes, sir.
meeting. Actually, I could not. The other day, I spoke to David also. He was also very happy about this. Having this country, we having a meeting with them. So since I was busy last week, I could not do, and next week I'll be out of the country. Shall we fix a date on the 21st? Shall I send a mail to you?
Okay, to meet Mr. David.
No, we will connect these people also from Bhutan, and we'll have the first discussion. No.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
We'll fix them in because that's the only way that we can talk, because now that we know what we are doing and all that quite well with all the initiatives that we have. It's a thing that we can. I will share the profile that they have shared with me to everyone, and I'll email you. So if we can have a meeting on the 21st or something, 21st or any that week, I'm okay. So then we will go from there.
Super, sir. That will be really great.
Create another opportunity. Sometimes our master coach or some good coaches to go to another place and show their capabilities. Which can
that will be really great.
Go one step above. The thinking that we have been having.
Yeah, we are blessed to have you because we follow you in Facebook that you are going around the world. So take this message and thank you really for thinking about our coaches. And as you correctly said, our experience is like very rich, isn't it? Our team here have very big experience. So let's make use of it. And thank you for that, sir.
We'll do. Yeah.
Online.
Anything else from the team? Otherwise, I'll hand over back to Mr. Keethi to say a few words and advise us to the next steps.
Shall I ask Indika if there's anything to say?
Deliverable.
Indika?
Madi, mute yourself, Madi.
No, I'll do. Indika, you can speak.
Yeah, now Ms. Kanti has shared the membership application forms of PBCA. Please download it if you want now, or you can reach out to her. Indika, Ms. Indika, are you there?
He's there. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So is that
Indika, you want to share anything?
Nayavagi, sir? Okay.
He is there. Is there, but anything like probably his voice is not coming or some issue.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, then we will conclude actually, and I'm also very happy about the active participation from all the coaches. Of course, always what I say is we don't want stories, we want success stories. So if we create success stories, then we have something to tell somebody. Just stories will not tell anything, just only a story. So if we can create more success stories, then it will be good for federation, skills for inclusive growth, and for the licensed coaches that we have appointed also, because we are the people. I mean, we are organizations. What we can do is the work what we did and the value that you're creating. Only we can talk. If I going to tell that we have already 100 coaches, that doesn't mean anything. But out of 100 coaches, just 5 guys has created this kind of value, will be something worthwhile to share with the business community. And then there'll be more business, more opportunities for you all, because what happens is now in this forum, what we have to understand is to create opportunity for you. And you will create opportunity for small businesses. That's how we look at this project. So make sure that you are the people who can unlock the potential of the small businesses who are struggling now. So all in your good hands. Think about it, learn more and get into the good practices and, support the smaller businesses, which will create a major impact in this economy, I'm sure, if you do this. Thanks a lot for joining today's session.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, participants, coaches. So happy to meet you all. See you again. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye.
Okay, I'll close the session then.
Thank you,
sir.
Shakti. Thank you,
Thank you.
Mr. Guradana.
Thank you.
everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.